I just come into the permaculture greenhouse and pick passion fruits whenever I want. Got these damn passion fruits everywhere. Haven't had time to make climbers for them. Hundreds and hundreds of passion fruits. Bet you I could have had thousands. Today I am lightly spritzing my banana leaves to mimic the rainfall in my tropical permaculture paradise. Just blowing off all the old dust and bug larvae off the leaves because this thing's been completely neglected. My bed of milk thistle has medicinal and healing properties. Freaking weeds everywhere. Under the natural shade of the papaya tree, my chickens are free-ranging, eating bugs and fertilizing the plants as well. Just stepped in chicken shit again. How's that eucalyptus tree, chickens? My papaya tree is starting to grow baby papayas. Haven't had time to fertilize that darn thing. Bananas hanging everywhere, 4 clumps right now, and I don't have to do anything in the permaculture greenhouse. I remember to cut the flower off of this one, but the other 4 bunches I left the flower on, and the bananas aren't plumping up as big as this first bunch. With permaculture, I don't even have to mulch. Mother Nature does it for me. Haven't had time to clean up all these dead leaves that are falling off everything. Isn't it beautiful how the greenhouse is filling in? Jungle in here. I need my machete. I can't even walk. Intentional permaculture paradise. Or neglected greenhouse the last 6 months. I don't know. You decide. What's up, YouTube? So, not too many people probably have the balls to show you their mess. So, you're welcome. This is what it looks like when no human hands touch a tropical greenhouse in the middle of Canada, Saskatchewan, Canada, for 6 months. Now, I could also swing this and say this is a true intentional permaculture tropical greenhouse in Canada. So we could swing it that way. But literally, we've been so busy doing outside stuff and just now taking a peek at the greenhouse. Let's check out what this thing's about. So it is the beginning of December 2025. Nobody has done anything in here. No weeding, no hand watering, nothing except for some harvesting in this greenhouse for literally 6 months. We haven't planted anything in here. It's been all outside stuff we've been doing. The only thing we do is come in and harvest. So it is a mess. There are leaves, like literally we haven't had time to clean up leaves from that fall off some of the trees, right? There is a little bit of pests. I'll show you that in a minute. But some things are doing good. Some things died back. And this is a true permaculture greenhouse. So everything's on an automatic drip system. The only thing I do is turn my valve on and fill up my tanks to make sure that there's water. I just switched it today to winter watering because it was still on summering mode, but we haven't done anything, okay? Multiple eucalyptus trees. My wife literally comes in here, harvests them for when she's making stuff and for cuttings, for bouquets, stuff like that. She sells a lot of eucalyptus. We have multiple different kinds. There's a eucalyptus globulus, a lemon eucalyptus. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest, all this stuff. Check this out for permaculture. Well, first of all, you come in here, collect your herbs, rosemary. I don't even know what some of this is. This might be a weed as far as I know. But there's sages and mint and certain things in there that survived. Okay, overall, it actually looks pretty good. It's just literally neglected. There's weeds in here. We haven't done anything for 6 months, mind you. This big eucalyptus tree, it is like 6-inch diameter trunk, and we planted it there, my wife did, and it is pushing up against the structure there. So it's kind of funny. There's a eucalyptus tree with grapes climbing up. Maybe there's some grapes. These are passion fruits here. Some grapes that we didn't get to pick that shriveled up. Maybe not. Now it's kind of neat. This tree's pushing on like the poly, and today it's minus 35 Celsius outside. So I think there's guaranteed some of those leaves are going to die because they're touching the cold glazing, right? But out of one pot down here somewhere, there's a passion fruit. And if given more places to grow up, it would be everywhere. There is literally hundreds and hundreds of passion fruits on this. Have the ladder here and put the ladder here. I don't know how many weeks or months ago the passion fruit's like climbing on the ladder because haven't even had time to take the ladder down, right? That's our life. There's a passion fruit literally 14 and a half feet up in the air close to the ceiling. There's a clump of passion fruits. Those are excellent. So this had two phases of it. We picked and picked and picked, and then it bloomed in more fruit, and these ones aren't even ready yet. Lots of grapes we've harvested off of this. Underneath, I don't know if it's like mulching itself, as permaculture does, with the leaves off of this bigger stuff. I literally haven't even walked down here because you can't even make my walkway, right? I don't think there's much in the raised bed. Okay. What the heck is this one? And it looks like we got some powdery mildew because of our high humidity on certain things. So we lost an orange tree, 2 orange trees, but the figs are doing excellent. Olive is super healthy. It likes that. We haven't had olives still to this date, and everything was on its just automatic timer. Harvested bananas off of this banana and actually forgot to cut down the mother that I got the bananas from. I've got to do that. I can feed the pigs one day. There's I forget, Namwa. I got this from Jane Squire in British Columbia, that little one back there that's growing very, very well. That's also a dwarf. This is our blue Java. Yeah, this big one's a blue Java, so that is going to produce the blue bananas that I thought that our big one over there was going to. That's just an ice cream, but not the blue kind. I don't even know. Looks like there's some powdery mildew and kind of white pests. I don't know if those are aphids starting. Or maybe mealybug. Unfortunately, mealybug's a terrible, terrible pest that likes the bananas to the point where when I get to it, we'll take out the big banana, I think my wife is saying. This bougainvillea is just insane. So, yeah, and all this stuff grew so big, it shades kind of the back of the greenhouse quite a bit. There's a chicken. We for fertilizer, I got rid of my fish. The chicks, well, they were chicks, were naturally hatched by a mother outside. I think she had was hatched like 12 or 16. Then the other chickens were killing her babies. So I managed to save, I think it was 8. And they're just living in here. They got their food, but they wander around and they're picking at stuff and maybe a little pest control. Ooh, looks like we have some hot peppers to harvest. And whatever this is, it's got powdery mildew. I should do, forget what I do. Is it baking soda for fungal treatment? I forget. Old tomato plants on the climbers, like very old. Those have been dead for like the whole summer, almost. And I literally can't walk through here, so I'm going to maybe go around. This bougainvillea, it's got like thorns on it, kind of, and holy moly. I don't know what some of these are. This looks like a tropical plant or a lemon that's doing really good. No real powdery mildew on that, but just weeds and grass, like literally in here. We just haven't done anything. So looks like there's some bell peppers. Those might have come up naturally. And yeah, I don't even know. Okay, I gotta go around. So, but yeah, so you got the tree, multiple things climbing. So a grape climbing up from there, and then a passion fruit climbing up from there, up there, and passion fruits all hanging down on the eucalyptus. So it's literally a tropical jungle. In here, early walk. Okay. Greenhouse is working excellent all summer. It was just open to the outside. And in the wintertime on a minus 35 day, I've got to have the door open a crack. Here's one update. No longer using the fireplace. The fireplace inside of a humid greenhouse rotted away to nothing. Doors, hinges are seized. The plate is seized. Wood stove in a greenhouse. What happens is, even though I have this damper to close it off, when you're not using it, humidity, because it's plus 30 in here and minus 30 outside, humid in here and dry outside, humidity wants to go up. It goes up, you get ice buildup, and then it drips down and just super high humidity, and it wrecked our wood stove. This is the chick setup because the barn's not done. Just have them in here. I had baby ducks in one and chicks in the other. They're all in the big coop with the big animals now because they're feathered out, except for, I don't know, 5 chicks or something. Hot tub's good. I switched the hot tub to hydrogen peroxide, 70 to 100 parts per million on the hot tub instead of chlorine. So I've got my hydrogen peroxide test strips, and I keep it in between those 2 colors with 35% hydrogen peroxide. And now my wife is happy using it because she didn't like chlorine. Dwarf bananas are where it's at. They are so healthy, whereas these other bananas, the big one over there, hits the roof and the leaves break off and it's not happy because it wants more room to grow. So dwarf bananas are where it's at. This is that blue java, and it's got a bunch of baby blue javas there. Because we're doing what works, couldn't get oranges to work in my environment. I think it's the humidity. Olive doing excellent. And then we've got eucalyptus tropical trees planted everywhere, and that's because there's so much demand for that. Again, off one tree takes care of our entire little supplementary, that's our only heat source other than the sun, 80,000 BTU furnace. Estimate like $600 an entire year to keep this greenhouse to tropical 10 Celsius minimum temperatures. 1 clump of bananas on that one. 2 clumps of bananas. 3 and 4 clumps of bananas on this one. So hundreds and hundreds of bananas off of this. Now, again, this is a full-size banana, and literally from a little guy like that, in 1 year, it's this size, an entire tree, and it hits the ceiling. So actually, one thing I did, I think it was in the spring, I cut down most of the bananas, okay? Just with my machete hacking away and fed them all to the pigs, okay? So that's one thing I did. I haven't even had time to put a 2x4 brace. I can't believe it's holding the weight of that banana clump, because I forget what they are, like maybe that'll be a 40-pound clump or something like that. And there's another clump there. Can you see it? Okay, those are a little younger. Another clump there. And another clump there. Now, there's little white things that you can see on here. Those are mealy bugs. I cannot get rid of them. We do alcohol wipes, or did. Alcohol wipes, rinsing them off frequently, but literally we haven't done anything for 6 months. So I think in like the tropics where bananas are grown, it would rain a lot, and that would kind of help wash off leaves, like dust of the leaves and stuff like that. But in here, it doesn't get that. So the leaves kind of get dusty. So I should take my crumpled up hose here. Okay, here's something funny. Look at this pot. It does not have a drip line in, has not been watered the entire summer. And how are these bananas alive? Somebody tell me. Like, zero moisture. Right, well, this is broken now, but it's bone dry in there. Those bananas are the easiest thing to grow. That's why they're so cheap at the grocery store, because they have their own wrapper, travel well, and they're the easiest thing to grow. Like, no kidding. These look like healthy plants with literally no water. That's kind of funny. This banana is so big, this full-size one. Like, this is a full-size, or a dwarf, but as big as it'll get, okay? And it's healthier. This one's full-size, hitting the ceiling, and it's kind of just a nice ambiance or whatever in here, I guess, like a tropical jungle. But it blocks so much light, and because of that mealybug problem, because, again, the leaves break off on the ceiling, then they're not healthy, and then when something's not healthy, then a pest would like to go to that. But I could utilize a lot more of this sunny space. Trout, I haven't had trout in 6 months. Finished those. Those were pretty good eating. The flesh wasn't like honestly kind of muddy in a small little tank like that. But we were down to I don't know what I had left, 10, and then just harvested it and called that quits for now. So the only fertilizer in here is the little chickens running around, because it's just a wild jungle, right? Figs, we've had lots of figs off. So the only thing, come in and harvest. But if you don't harvest a fig doesn't last very long. It'll get squishy, and then you'd get some aphids. But in the summertime, it's fine because the greenhouse is open. The other bugs come in, and it mitigates that issue there. But there's powdery mildew, unfortunately. Like, this is a shriveled up old fig that we didn't get to pick. And just powdery mildew on some of the leaves because of the high humidity in here, I guess. Is that another eucalyptus? Yeah, she did another eucalyptus. Don't ask me what this thing is. I have no idea. A lemon hiding in here, doing very, very well. Forget what this flower is. I haven't even had time. You're supposed to take the... Oh, I did on this one, actually. This clump. Took the flower off with a machete, and we actually did eat that one. But I should take a machete because see how the bananas aren't getting as big as those ones? So I should chop these flowers off. There's 3 I didn't do. And actually, now that I see, I should get the dust and stuff off, just spray all the leaves down with my hose there. Today, yeah, so yeah, I have no idea what this plant is. Looks like there's little artichokes in there. Some kind of flower of my wife's doing its thing. A whole cluster of thistles like we have outside weed pressure, just because nobody's maintained this thing. Structure of the greenhouse is good. Look, I've got a little bit of, gets very humid, some not mold, what do you call it? It's not moss. Anyways, green, kind of green stuff there, but the structure's all very good. I have the insulated blanket directly from China to figure out how to insulate it at night to eliminate my little heating bill to no heating bill. But honestly, it's not a priority, right? It's like, should I take this machine that broke and pay a mechanic thousands and thousands of dollars and then do this project to save myself $600, or do I fix the machine? You know, it's like pick your, I got so much going on, I got to pick what I got to do, right? What makes the most sense for me. I wonder if these are weeds. It's like a ground cover. don't even know what that is. Crazy. Yeah, but no, there's no aphids or fruit flies in here. It's just the odd mealy bug because of these bananas, I guess, that you cannot fully get rid of. Doesn't matter what you do. But okay, so this is permaculture at its finest. So high entropy is kind of what permaculture is and nature is. It's chaotic. There's no right angles. There's no symmetry. There's no like concentrated, efficient production. And as a human being in this world, what I try to do is lower my entropy in this world. So I built a big rectangle of a greenhouse and then a big rectangle kind of natural area, and then tried this permaculture thing, I guess. And we got a little bit of production, like there's peppers and tons of bananas. I didn't even get to the papaya because we were kind of locked in, but there's a papaya with baby papayas on it. All right, let's try to get that. But anyways, I built a big rectangle, lowering my entropy, got drip lines, the right amount of moisture, lowering entropy to make things efficient, and then you let nature raise the entropy. Okay, so in here, if you can see, that's our big papaya. Jeez, I'm caught on something. Yeah, and there's little papayas on the tree, just tiny little things starting. Okay, so that's a big papaya in there, covered in bougainvillea leaves that are falling. But anyway, so that's what permaculture is, kind of. You do not get a whole bunch of production, but you do get some. Sorry. So that's my mess. Or another way you could put it is permaculture paradise. Same thing. So this is what a tropical indoor permaculture paradise looks like in Zone 3 gardening, Saskatchewan, Canada, I guess. But I am contemplating, I had my fun with this permaculture, raising my entropy as humans do, and concreting some more of this air exchanger, which I have. I just have to, again, another thing I got to do, right? When I get some farm hands again. But what works for me is I don't have a lot of space, and we don't have a lot of sunny space on concrete. Like we've hosted homeschooling things here. But every year my wife has this full of pots and full of trays. And those pots and trays get moved to our outside garden. And what I would like to do is put up the hoop house that I have. It's a 30 by 80, and like start all the tomatoes, peppers, onions, things like that on concrete in trays. And then when summer kind of come, like literally start them in February, some things or whatever. You can't do that with the hoop house where I live. And then when it comes to like May, you move and transplant that into hoop houses, and then you get your main production off of that. So I'm considering concreting more of this. Air exchange dropped my humidity. I've done, I don't even know how many consults, which, you know, how first you do something and then you start to teach. So that's YouTube. And then I've been consulting. So that's how you become a master, right? Multiple post-secondary education facilities have asked me to be a professor, if you will. I don't even think I responded to all of them. That's how busy I've been. And I'm not going to. I don't have time. I'd rather write a book or something. Or yeah, actually, YouTube is better than you paying for a post-secondary education to hear me tell you the same thing. Actually, you're going to get more benefit just watching this YouTube video. Anyways, I did a lot of consults. The greenhouse works excellent. We always add in-ground air exchanger during the building, or at least the air tubes. You can either just put a little fan and you made your own air exchanger, or you can buy a commercial one and hook the exhaust and the intake up to your in-ground one for a super high efficient air exchanger. I wish I had that. But If I put in my air exchanger, who knows, maybe it's going to change something in here. Maybe the bananas and papaya isn't going to be as happy, but maybe I'll be able to grow the citruses a little bit better. Like it's just some changing something in the environment. Anyway, some of the consults, one I did was a greenhouse. This side, full set of blueprints, everything calculated for the sun angles for where this particular person was. And the whole thing's concrete with floor drains. So that reduces the humidity, increases the thermal mass with dark concrete, drains in the floor. You keep it squeaky clean, like literally do not introduce pests. And they're going to pump out microgreens, lettuce, tomato in hydroponics or just potted plants, and then a processing area. So if you're building a greenhouse or have one, you have to make a decision. How much time are you going to spend? Is this a business to pump out food, right? It's hard to pump out so many varieties of food because, the oranges need something different than my bananas do. And if I change something, maybe my oranges will take off, but my bananas will struggle, right? You could do multiple greenhouses, I guess. Other consults, and I struggle with this still, but the particular client would say, I don't know if this is going to be a sunroom place to hang out with nice tropical plants, or I want to pump out food. And I say, I struggle with the same thing to this day. I'm a farmer. So it's, if I have the farm hands for the other things that I do, like eggs, poultry, meat, birds, pork, beef, hang, and that kind of stuff, and I can have some more help, then maybe you do take some of this out. The in-ground, you could do 30-inch beds of your mixed lettuce. You could do tomatoes and peppers, or concrete some more, and we start a whole bunch of stuff. This is the first spring. My wife, we just need a break. She's not doing a plant sale. It's too much of a hassle, and we got too much other stuff going on. We're just having to prioritize. So I got rid of my tilapia fish, and we're just growing trays and potted plants for our outside gardens, just for us. But you could do this whole thing a plant sale. Where I am from, every greenhouse that is here essentially is like a retailer, or almost all of them. They import in plants from other greenhouses, and then their greenhouse is like a jewelry store and a coffee shop and your Christmas trinket doodads and wind chimes, and then some potted succulents and stuff like that. So there's not a lot of food being pumped out locally, and there's a reason for that. There's more money in doing the retail greenhouse stuff. But anyways, I digress, right? If you're doing a greenhouse, or I have consulted with you, you make these decisions. You could have a permaculture paradise, get some cool food out of it for your family or whatever, but not pump it out like daily rations for multiple households. You know what I mean? Like, you could really make this productive. But again, built the greenhouse myself as just another farm passion project of mine. Did it all myself. It really cost me nothing. Still haven't put in my hydronic heating in because, and don't even bother burning wood too. It's like natural gas, $600 a year, not a month, a year, to have 3,000 square feet. And that bill is paid for by that tree right there. So, and that one's profit then. So it owes me nothing. I need a little bit of a break. I'm going to go in the hot tub for a few days, sit in here a bit, contemplate exactly my plans for this. But this kind of winter's project, now that I'm done my outside stuff, is to clean up some of that, bring in some manure. Hopefully my pile's not too frozen outside. And I've got a crate of, or a pallet that's like 4 feet high of cedar mulch. I'd like to remulch. Yeah, clean out some stuff, do a little bit of pest control, baking soda, wash the leaves off everything. Still, I haven't used a chemical, right? I've come this far, no chemicals. Woohoo, that's hard too. So again, if you want to pump out food, it's like keep it hermetically clean. Don't let in outsiders. Do almost monoculture and use sprays. And then you do get local food, lots of it to feed households, but I don't want to do that, you know. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed my mess of a video or permaculture paradise video. It's up to you. You decide. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.